Twine, this is Toby, and welcome to a Tobyknits stitch with me. Yes, I always have to think, is it a floss tube? No. Is it a floss tube special? Yes, it's a floss tube special because we're going to stitch together. Yes, we are. And we are going to stitch the Historic Sampler Company's subscription box, which is called Cotton and Twine, if you didn't know, and they are scrumptious. And we're doing this Easter one. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. So what I've been doing with this is I've been stitching this. I think I started it 3 weeks ago. This is week 4 that we're on, just about on. And I wanted to do this in 5 weeks. So what I've been doing is Monday to Friday, I have been stitching for 1 hour on this project. Sometimes in the morning with my first cup of tea of the day, sometimes right before I do some afternoon stitching on my regular projects. Sometimes I just fit it in the evening. Wherever I have an hour, I just sit down and work on this. So I've done it Monday to Friday for 1 hour. I do not stitch it on Saturday and Sunday. And I want to make sure I can get it done in time for Easter, which is in 2 weeks. So I have another week of stitching, possibly 2, and I want to finish it. Like I want to fully finish it so it's hanging up on Easter. So it's very exciting. So here is where I was last week when we stitched together. And I am going to turn you down and show you where I am now. And then we're just going to stitch for a half hour or more. Whatever you feel like. You don't have to stitch what I'm stitching. Grab your own stitching. If you want to knit, knit. If you just want to sit there with a cup of tea and listen to me rabbit on, that's all we have to do. Okay. So look what I've got done in the last 4 days. Because today is my day 5. It's Friday. And I managed to get all the little leaves done in here and that stuff. I got both the rabbits and the little flower, and I got this done. I am super thrilled with how it's going to turn out. So, do I want to do the happy today and the other, or do I just want to keep going up? I don't know. Let's put this on and see. I like using these little wooden ones. This is a 6-inch. These are my favorites, purely because they're not very wide, so they're easy to hold for my hands. I get arthritis in my thumbs. I'm getting old now. And I like it taut, but not completely, if you know what I mean. And I just find it easier for me to hold in a little hoop. So let's have a look and see where I feel like, oh, maybe I'll do the little bluebells. And then I can finish this off and then move up to the, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So I need the S, which is this. So I got one here, I think that's started. So how is everybody doing? Let's get another one out so that we're ready to go. There, oh, there's 2 bits. There we go. So this should be enough to do a flower. It's absolutely gorgeous out today. Our snow is nearly all melted, which is great. I'm so done with the snow. I really am. Because we got a big dumping of it last week. I mean, it came in like a lion and it went out like a lion. So much for that little expression. my nails look a bit wonky today because I just took off the nail polish I had on. And I'm using this new system. It's called Cystico. It's supposed to be 100% loads and loads cheaper than going to the nail salon. And to be honest with you, it is really nice. I think I'm here. Wait now. Yes, I'm level with this one. So I'm there. Oh, I don't want to do that though, because it's a knot. So I need to come away from where I'm going with my waist knot and go in here. So I can then cover that up. Yeah, so it's like a mineral powder. And I found it a little bit hard to get off. They give you this not magic. They give you this remover thing. It's like a gel. And yeah, it was my first time using it. I don't even know if I was doing it properly or not. It did come off, but I ended up having to get acetone to help me get it off. But I'm sure the more I use it, the easier it'll get. I can't wait to put my next color on. I've got 6 colors to pick from. So it's very exciting. And there's supposed to be something like 40 manicures in a pot. So it's like, oh, way cheaper than going to the... No, the last one I had was lovely. At the nail salon, but it was $67. I can't afford that all the time. So a bit of luck, this one will work better for me. Just the removals, I haven't got the hang of it yet. So what I've been doing with these lovely little Stitch With Me's is whenever you leave a comment, now it's only on the Stitch With Me's, whenever you leave a comment after you've watched, and that after you've watched being the operative word, and stitched along with me, I take all those comments, and the following week I discuss them, and it gives us something to chat about. And then I do a draw and I pick a winner. And last week my winner, because it was the first time I did it last week, my winner last week was Catherine, and I still haven't mailed your prize off yet, Catherine. I've been so behind with that. I'm so sorry. I will get it done to you this weekend, though, before I fly off to Nova Scotia. I actually made them. I've made 2. So this was going to be the prizes. And they are stitch magnets that I made. This one's got a camper on it, and this one's a Canada flag. I was going to send you this one, Catherine, because you're in the States, and I thought you might enjoy the Canada flag. But then I thought, well, maybe she'd like the camper. So let me know which one you want, and I'll put the one you want in the mail. You can either email me your choice, or you can just put in the comments below, and then you're entered in for the next one. So yeah, so that's the plan. I hope to try, and they'll get better prizes as I go, but it was just the only thing I could think of off the top of my head, and it's nice and small for me to mail, so the postage isn't a lot. Yeah, so that's how I do it, and it's nice because I get to meet new people doing this who have joined in to watch, and I prefer the very first one I did where I started it, set it up, got it going. I did it live, and while I did enjoy that, I found it hard keeping up with what I was doing and answering all the comments when people were, you know, chatting away to me. So the following week I did it as like this, where I record it earlier in the day and then put it up in the afternoon. And now then, this one is big enough. I could do 2 loop methods with this one. So I put the 2 ends together, so I have my loop-y bit. Yeah, so this, I find this a lot easier for me, just because I can edit it too if I get interrupted, or if something happens. People call sometimes because it'll stop the video. I don't know why. Yeah, so I just thought it's easier this way. And then you can watch it at your leisure, because I find it hard to get everybody's time zones right. So this way it's easier. You can watch it at your leisure, and you can still be part of the drawer by leaving your comment at the end. So I'm very excited. I leave on Monday for Nova Scotia. Tomorrow is Sunday itself. Sunday is Tristan's 5th birthday, but we're going to his birthday party tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that. I bought him a remote control Batmobile with a little Batman. So that's exciting. I can't wait to see him. And last night we went out to supper at my stepdaughter's house and hung out with them, played Play 9 and chatted to the kids. And so that was fun too. Mateo was doing Taekwondo, so he was showing us his moves. He just turned 10. Yeah. So how about, let's see. So last week, as you know, we had Catherine won. And last week, we had 6 comments. So 6 people are in for a chance to win today. And I know who the winner is too. I already did the draw. Yes, I did. Oh. But anyway, let's chat about the things everybody chatted about. And where am I? Yes, I am here. Catherine said she's doing well, and it was her 62nd birthday yesterday. Congratulations, that's awesome. Happy birthday. And I have already replied to these, but she also celebrated by walking 12,333 steps, 5.62 miles. Good God, girl. Good for you. I don't even do that. I started reading a new book, Heather Pringle's The North Women, Untold Stories from the Other Half of the Viking World. Well, that doesn't really sound like my cup of tea. I'm a murder mystery girl myself. I'm a Holland Coben, Linwood Barkley, James Patterson girl. But whatever, as long as you enjoyed it. And she knit some more on the second panel of her scrappy color block garter stitch blanket. If you're not a member of my Tobyknits and Friends Facebook page, you need to go be a member, because you need to go see her blanket that she posts pictures of for me. And it is quite adorable. So I am very happy. She also said that my Easter sampler is working up beautifully. And yes, oh, I need to put that in my tea then, blimey. I have a little container that a little thing I made that I put my scraps in, but it was right beside the teacup. And now we put it in. Okay, one more little bluebirdy thing to do, bluebell. So I'm very happy. That's nice. Good for you. My birthday's November. I'm a November baby. Must be nice having a birthday in the spring or the fall, in the summer. You get to go and do fun stuff outside. In the winter time, nobody wants to go anywhere or there's a snowstorm. If you can hear that noise, my neighbor next door is cutting down a tree. Now, car 5011, I have no idea what your name is, hon. But she said because we talked about putting on stuff to stop your thread from curling last week. And she says that she used beeswax before, and over time, it yellowed her fabric. That's very interesting. So she doesn't use it anymore. I don't know if it was the fabric I used or it was the wax, but I didn't try it after that. That's very interesting. Who would think that that's what would happen? Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm scared to use it, because I do have some. I have two that I actually got from Bothy Threads. And I think one came in my Advent, and one came in a box that I had ordered one time from them. I think it was one of the very first boxes they ever put out, like the historic sampler boxes. I wanted to see if it was just as good, because we all know how much I love Historical Sampler Company and their cotton and twine boxes. So yeah, I used it once, and then I was like, have I done it right? Like, because it's a pot, right? And you have to like drag it through the pot, and I wasn't sure if I did it right. I wasn't sure if I put too much on. Was it gonna get on the fabric? I just wasn't sure. So I only used it like one time. But I will take it with me to Stitch North, and I'm gonna ask all the girls there, because there's gonna be like 200 women in this retreat that we're going to. And I'm sure some of them have used it before. So I'll find out. I'm very excited to go to that and see all the different methods that people use to stitch. Do they stitch in hand? Do they stitch with a hoop? Do they have a lap stand? I've tried the lap stand and I'm not really that keen on it. However, I could have been using it wrong. And it was also when I was sitting in our old couch, and the new couch, which is a recliner, is a bit more, I'm not going to say solid, firm. So it might be a bit better, because I found that it kept moving on me on the other couch. So I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be on a table, not really the lap. Do you put it over you or do you put it under you? That's the other thing. You know, like the base, do you sit on the base or do you put it on your lap? I have no idea. So that's the plan, to go and see what people have done with theirs so I can judge. Okay, so that's that now. So maybe the white to finish that off, and then I can go up there and do that white. Okay, that's what we'll do. So I'm not thrilled with these cards. They're, now I did, pretty sure, I don't know if it was this company or I saw that they had actual little cards that had the numbers on or something, and you can order them. I don't know if it was this one or Bossy Thread now, I can't remember. But they're okay, but when they come, they just are loose. They're just threaded in, and I always knot them purely because I could knock one of these and the whole thing falls out, and then if two of them have fell out at the same time, I don't know which number's which. So I knot them before I get started, and then that way I can loosen it and just pull out a strand. But again, that's how come it gets curly. So maybe that isn't a good idea. What do you do when you have a card with all the floss on from a kit or something? Do you undo it each time, each color? Or do you pull like I do? Yeah, the next door neighbor's tree fell down. It was a massive tree. We had a storm and it fell down. Crystal said, Crystal's my new Nova Scotia friend, that my stitch along is coming along well. The timing might be a bit tight. Oh, I know, eh? But she has faith in me and will button it up for Easter. I'm pretty sure I will too. And I feel like the more closer I get, the more I'm actually going to want to stitch. I'm not going to want to just do the hour. She would love to meet up for a bit when I'm in Nova Scotia. Thanks for putting these videos out so we can all catch up together. You are welcome. Now, I don't know if we're going to meet up this time though, because she's waiting to have some surgery on her eye, poor girl, and isn't driving right now, which I don't blame her. So, why have I got a knot there already? We will maybe do it next time, because you know me, I'm always up there. I'm always there. Always visiting with my Sean. So what I'm doing on this one is, instead of completing, because when I've finished here, I want to go up there. So I'm just doing the half stitch down to where I need to go. This is how I stitch. Somebody asked me how I stitch to keep my back neat, and it's not that I want to keep the back neat. It's just I don't like wasting thread, and I don't like stopping and starting. So now I'm going to complete my stitch. I have to go in here because I've just come up went down the other way. Now I can go up here. So now I've done those. So now I can come up here. So I'm going to turn it over. And because if I just go to there, I'm going to have a big thread. And I don't want a big thread that could easily get pulled or snagged. So I'm just going to go underneath like that, and now that's been secured and it's not going to snag. And now I can go and do the little white bits here. And in actual fact, it was Denise, or D. Rose, as she is, but I know her name's Denise. She's also English. Well, I did not know that. She moved to Ireland 20 years ago. Wow. She said, I would love to see your snow, but I'm grateful that we don't have that much. Yeah, no, you would not like my snow. I'm not kidding you. You wouldn't like it. She said, the Easter sampler is coming along nicely. I don't iron unless I have to. Oh, yes, that was our other discussion last week about whether people iron or not. And no, I'm glad I'm not the only one that doesn't iron unless they have to. And she's the one who wanted to know how my back was so neat. How do you keep it like that? And she said, have a great week. I look forward to seeing your next episode. Are you going to be getting the Bothy Threads Advent calendar this year? Yes, probably I am. She said, because I watched your Vlogmas videos, I ordered the Bothy Threads Advent. I'll be watching you and how you're stitching more closely. I want to get as neat as you. Well, I've been doing this since I was 17. And I don't always do individual stitches like I am right now, unless it's just one individual stitch, as you can see. When it's rows like this, then of the same color, then I go all one way with my V's, with my half stitch, and come back to complete the stitch. And I feel like that helps your back. It makes it look neat. And I do my very best to not travel all over the place. Okay, so now I've done that little bit. Now I need to get up to there. So I don't want to go there. I think I'm going to come down here, back down. This is a long way around, and then over to there, because that's not as big of a, where am I going? There, I'm going up there. And now I can travel all the way underneath. Like that, and so I've caught all those, and there's not giant. And now I can start in here and do that. And again, I'm only going to do that because I need to come back to here so I can travel to there. So I'm just going to do my half a stitch here. And once again, now I can come back and finish off my crosses. And then I'm going to travel down to that. So again, I'm going to come back over there and travel down underneath. And then come up here. When I stitch too, I'm all about where am I going next. All about what color am I doing next. Now see, these I'll just do as a simple cross stitch because I don't need this white anymore. In this area, I do need it, but not in this area. And let me see, so what was our next question? Neely Knits. Now then, I don't know who you are. You are new to me, so you're going to have to tell me what your name is. Although I do like Neely Knits. It's kind of... I wonder if that's your last name, or is it something else? All right, so we've done that. So now I am going to come up. So I've just done this little bit here. I'm going to come up now and start there. So I need to count. Have I got my... No. That's in the other room. So I'm going to put a waist knot in this bit. And we need to go to there. And we are going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4 from that one. So I'm just going to throw my waist knot anywhere over there. And we're going to count up 4 from which one? This one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I'm going there to start the egg. Oh yeah, so what did she say? What was her question? And she said, I'm a little older than you, and I believe that ironing clothes and bed sheets is a generational thing, or it could be a location thing. I think you're right, because obviously my parents and a lot of older people definitely iron. And it's I was watching a TV show actually, and the person was ironing. It was in the north of England. It was a TV show. And so again, I think it's a Northern England thing as well. Now I'm just going to check I did that in the right place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I did. And she said, I used to iron for my mother as well. But her mother is Norwegian. Well, imagine that. Now, but where did you live? Did you live in Norway, or did you live in England, in the north of England, maybe? And Jamie, whose name was something else on the thing, and I had to go look at what her actual, or his name is. So Bragg something or another, originally it said. And Jamie said, this was lovely. I loved this message. I have to read it, the whole thing, because it's huge. She said, I had to keep fighting the algorithm until I was ready to sit and craft. Do we not all do that? Oh my goodness. It kept putting your video at the top. Excellent. I prefer the pre-recorded so I don't get distracted by the chat. I agree with you. I really am enjoying doing it this way. And she said, you and Emily from Emily Makes are my go-to crafting buddies. I love Emily from Emily Makes. I really do. She is also one of my favorite podcasters. And I may have persuaded her to get back to cross-stitching. Pull my hand up to that. I may have persuaded her to do the cotton cuts quilting. Hold my hand up to that. She may have made me start stitching gnomes. That's her fault. So yeah, I love it, Emily. We do. And from time to time we chat to each other as well, offline. And Jamie also said, what region in England are you from? When I first started watching, I could have sworn that you were from the upper East Coast, US, with the accent you have now. That's so funny. I'm always amazed, actually, when people talk to me and they've just met me for the first time. Ooh, and be careful, you're not doing that, you're doing that. And they will stop me mid-sentence and say, where are you from? You're not from Canada. And I'm like, no, I'm from England. And it always just amazes me that people still hear it. Because I don't think I sound British when I'm using my Canadian accent, which is what this is. However, I will read the rest of Jamie's lovely note in my actual accent, and then you can tell where I'm from. It was watching your Vlogmas series that got me back into cross-stitch. It was the first craft I ever learned. My aunt taught me when I was 8. I burnt myself out in 23. I had completed 5 Christmas stockings for my sister's family. Started in September 22 and finished the week before Christmas 23. Can you imagine? I can't imagine making that. I've made 2 stockings in my whole life, and it took me all my life to make them. I haven't picked up any cross stitch since January 24. 3 crafts are in my craft end table being neglected. 3 projects. I had burned myself out on knitting. Now she's burned herself out on knitting. Girl, you're doing it all too much. Oh, well, this is why she burned herself out. Listen to this. She said she knit 5 temperature blankets for her family from September to Christmas Eve. Different birth years, regions, different patterns. Wow, 5. And again, if I have to make a blanket for anyone, it's a baby blanket, and then that takes me all my time. Now I'm trying to balance with the cross stitch and the knitting. I lose time with the cross stitch. Well, I'm with you there, girl. I don't know how you stop at an hour. Yeah, but I only stopped this project at an hour. There's all kinds of others I'm doing in the background. And she says, I get going and boom, it's many hours later. So I know what you're talking about. That happens to me all the time too. But, you know, not only do I cross stitch, I knit every day. So I'm with you there. It's dead easy to get all wrapped up in it. Now I can't get back out my accent. And give me a minute now. I have to think about how to talk Canadian now. I have to have a minute. Carol said, that's looking beautiful. Thank you, Carol. I agree. So anyway, if you weren't quite sure, I'm from Liverpool. Okay. And I don't use my accent very often because half the time people don't understand me or they just stare at me and don't actually listen to what I'm saying. And Bob was just, hello, Bob was the same. And when I very first met Bob, I had to do sign language because he couldn't understand what I was saying. Like my version of sign language, not real sign language. Although that is one thing I would love to learn how to do. I'm always wishing, am I getting this right? Because it doesn't look right to me. Because there should be, oh yeah, okay. There is 4 there. Okay, we're on this side now. I've always wanted to be able to be bilingual in something where you could just turn on an accent, not an accent, a language, and just start chatting. I always thought that, like, it amazes me here in Canada that you can be talking to somebody in English and they sound perfectly English, and then the next thing you know, they turn around and they start speaking French as if they've been born in France. And I'm like, what? How'd you do that? And kids, you know, do it. It's like, because French is the second language here, so, although in Quebec they think it's the first, that's how they learn. Everybody learns French and English at the same time at school. So, but I always used to think it was fabulous. I used to watch this one lady on YouTube who, I think she was living in Japan, and she was English. I think she was English. Actually, she could have been American. I don't know. And all of a sudden, she'd turn around and speak Japanese. And everybody around her would stop because they weren't expecting this blonde-haired white girl to start speaking Japanese. It was amazing. It was amazing. So yeah, and again, it's the same with when you see people and they're deaf, and then they suddenly start doing sign language, and I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. But I don't know, I think I'm too old to learn now. Although maybe not, who knows? How long have I been chatting? Okay, 38 minutes, we're all right. And a little bit longer. Because it takes ages to edit this and then put it back up. And then load it to YouTube. Now, the other thing is, I need to know from you, how many of you have a MacBook computer and how many of you have a regular Windows? Because I've always been an Apple girl and I need a new MacBook. I need a new computer. And the MacBooks are so expensive. Like really, really expensive. And I can't afford one. So I was thinking of going back to Windows. I mean, I used to use one of those years ago when I retired. I mean, not when I retired, when I worked. And I've been retired 7 years now. So it's kind of like, will it be a steep learning curve for me to get back to Windows? Will my programs all run that I've been used to using? I'd have to find another editing program for my videos. Drop me a note below. Let me know what you use. I'll be interested to know. Well, I am going to finish this thread and then I'm going to stop so I can edit this and get it up for you guys. And I'm going to try and do one next week for you because as I say, I'm going to Nova Scotia Monday. I'm flying down by myself to spend a couple of days with the kids. I'll be there for a week, and I'm taking 2 cross-stitch projects, obviously this one and another one, my Monday to Friday stitch. I'm not sure if I'm going to take my Whipco ones with me or not. I kind of want to, but the other thing is when I'm down there, I really don't get a lot of time to stitch because I'm playing with the kids all the time. Or we're out and about doing stuff. I am taking some knitting. I'm just taking my socks to work on. They're nice and easy. So yeah, while I am down there, I will try to do a stitch with me, but again, it depends on what we're doing with the kids. I know when I get there Monday, and my flight's early in the morning, so I get there by 11-ish. In the afternoon, I'm going with Leo to watch him swim, doing his swim lessons. So that'll be fun. All right, my doves, there we go. That's what we got done today. So I'll finish this egg off while I'm editing because that will complete my hour. And then all I've got left to do, then I might come and do the happy. I think I'll do that. Then the big egg, and then I'll come around this way for those two. Oh my goodness. So I've got 5 days next week and 5 days the week after. I need to get this finished by the 18th. So, because that's Good Friday. So yeah. That will be today. Finish that. Then that, and that will be 1 day, 2 weeks. No. I hope I get this finished. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't that fun? Oh, it's coming on. I'm so excited. I'm loving this idea of one project for 1 hour a day, like a focus project. And I think I might continue doing that once this is done with the new Historic Sampler Company's Secret Garden. That was my focus this whole week on my Monday to Friday stitch. And you'll see that next week and how that turned out. But then I think that's what I'm going to do. Once this is finished, I'm going to throw that into that rotation because that'll be fun. The other thing is, as I said, I'm hoping I'll do a floss tube and a stitch with me next week, but depends on what goes on with the little Leo and the sweet Sunny. And, oh, the winner! Do you want to know who won? So the winner is, ta-da! Yay! So, you need to let me know, whatever your name is, what your email address is, or so you send me an email, I should say, with your mailing address. I will put my email below, so send me an email, and then hopefully I'll get yours and Catherine's out at the same time this weekend. Okay, I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.